Welcome to Speaking of Spirituality, a podcast to share about the path of spiritual awakening. I'm your host, Amelia McLean, and I am so excited to be showcasing some inspiring stories and exploring some interesting topics, all under the umbrella of spirituality. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So for this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about the chakra system, because I am in the middle of doing a series of posts on my Instagram, and they're also going to my Facebook, and I'm talking all about the chakra centers. So I thought I would do a podcast episode about them too, because I love talking about this topic, and it's something that I have developed a relationship with over the years, and I do recognize also that I used to have a little bit of resistance to the chakra centers, and it was like before I really understood what they were all about, and and just couldn't quite wrap my head around it. But when I learned about how everything is energy, then learning about the chakras made sense. Before I knew that, it was kind of this abstract concept that I didn't really understand. So and now working with the chakra centers is something that I do pretty often in my own personal meditation, which I'll talk about a little bit. And I healed my singing voice through a vocal toning exercise that uses sounds that resonate in the chakra centers, which I also use in the sessions that I do, the Quantum Soul Alchemy sessions. So I've discovered a lot of ways to heal through using the chakra centers, and it's pretty incredible when you really understand the way that the system works, because it really affects every part of the body. And I'm going to go over all of that right now. So basically, from what I understand, the chakras are, well, for one, a lot of people in the Western world say the word incorrectly. People pronounce it chakras with like it's SH, but that CH is really supposed to be ch, like we normally pronounce CH. I don't know why people say sh, but anyway, so it is chakras, and technically you're also supposed to roll the R slightly. That's how you actually are supposed to say the word. But anyhow, so the chakra centers are an energy system in the body, and when they are flowing freely, which is ideally the energy should be flowing freely through the centers, and when that's happening, it is actually swirling in the center like a spiral and circling around, and excuse me, and so that is how they are supposed to be functioning. However, a lot of people get energy stuck in the centers, and so this happens through multiple different ways when we are experiencing emotional situations in our life. Most of the time they're traumatic situations. If we do not release this energy from these emotions in an appropriate way, then the energy gets stuck in the body, and it gets stuck in the chakra centers, which affect different parts of the body. Each center governs different parts of the body, the physical parts of the body. And so when these centers get clogged with stuck energy, then it takes a long time for physical ailments to manifest, but like decades. But down the line, that's what can happen. And so we're going to get into all of that right now. So I'm going to explain how to know when the energy is flowing through each center, and how to know when the energy is blocked. And I'm going to talk about what which areas of the body each chakra is associated with. And so, yeah, so here we go. So basically, people usually start with the root center and work their way up when they're talking about the chakras. And I believe that is because the root is really the foundation. And we have to have a strong foundation to build upon in order for the other chakras to develop. And so we have to have our basic needs met before we can really go into the upper realms, which, as you'll see, is what the upper chakras are governing. So it's similar to the idea of, I wish I could remember the name of it, but there's like this pyramid drawing of, kind of looks like a food chart, the food pyramid. It sort of looks like that, but it's the hierarchy of needs. I can't remember what that person's name is. I'll try to find it and then put it in the notes for this episode. But anyway, yeah, so it's sort of related to that. But basically, we'll start down at the root and we'll make our way up to the crown center. So the root center is located at the base of the spinal column, and the central theme of the root is stability, the will to live, self-preservation, having a sense of trust and security, groundedness, feeling grounded, and literally a connection to the earth, and then life energy. And the root center supplies the pelvic region and large and small intestines with energy. It also influences the skeleton, the legs and the feet, the teeth and nails, blood formation, digestion, sciatic nerve, and adrenal glands. So when you're having good energy flow in the root center, you will have a trust in life, feel secure, you will have a will to live, you will feel steady and like you have a strong foundation, you'll feel protected, rooted, and grounded, you will have good stamina. The body's structural elements will be strong, your bones, teeth, and nails, and processes of elimination are working smoothly, and that's always a good thing. So when you have blockages in the root center, you may experience anxiety, depression, a feeling of lassitude, which is lack of energy, apathy, which is lack of enthusiasm, feeling a lack of trust. You would feel ungrounded, having fears, phobias, suspiciousness, being indecisive, feeling easily overwhelmed by difficulties, and just kind of like going from one crisis to the next in your life. And then physical things in the body that can manifest are digestive disorders, hemorrhoids, constipation, lower back pain, sciatica, skeletal issues, osteoporosis, having weak bones and brittle bones, pain in the legs and feet, varicose veins, anemia, and other blood disorders, stress-induced ailments, allergic reactions, and colon problems. So that is no fun. And so for healing the root chakra, so if any of those things, if you feel like you have blockages in there, doing some of these next practices can be very healing for the root center. So learning to develop a trust in being, just being, which is, I guess, easier said than done. Becoming aware of the physicality of your body and also just the physicality of the world around you can be really grounding too. Forging a deep connection to Mother Earth, spending time out in nature, literally like sitting on the ground with your bare body, touching the bare earth is so powerful. Side note, there's a really amazing movie called The Earthing Movie, and you can watch it for free on, just Google The Earthing Movie. It's on YouTube. They have it, the link on their website. It is an amazing, life-changing movie. I highly recommend watching it. right when you're done listening to this. And it will make you want to touch your bare body to the earth every day. So essential oils that are good for the root chakra would be clove, rosemary, cypress, and cedar. Putting those in a diffuser. A valerian infusion, which you could find the details for if you were to Google that. Elder or lime blossom tea. And then the gemstones of ruby, hematite, and garnet. And then the affirmations to use for this root center would be, I trust in the power of life. I feel at home in my body. I am sustained and nourished by nature. Then getting regular exercise is really important. Giving yourself foot massages or getting foot massages from someone else, I suppose. Spending time outdoors, that goes along with creating that connection to Mother Earth. Long walks, very grounding. Walking is super grounding. Oh, here's barefoot, earthing, grounding on my list. In the morning, bathing the legs in cold water. This is a very grounding practice. Gardening, meditating, sitting on the ground. These are all super grounding things. Wearing red clothing. Red is the color of the root chakra, so that makes sense. Learning to play the drums, very rhythmic, also grounding. Listening to rhythmic music and enjoying the sunset. So these are all good things for healing the root center and just good things to do in general. I mean, these things are just good to do all the time, which is pretty much what all of these healing things are. But yeah, and then so moving on to the sacral center. So, and I forgot to mention originally the color of the root center. The root center is red. The sacral center is orange, so we're going up in the rainbow colors. So the central theme of the sacral center, and the sacral center is located just below the belly button. And if you are a woman and you have a womb, then it would be in your womb space is where the sacral center is. So the central theme of the sacral center is sexuality, sensuality, fertility, and creative energy, feminine energy. Feminine energy, by the way, does not necessarily have to do with women or females. Everybody has feminine and masculine energy. I should do a whole podcast about that. Anyhow, and then so the good energy flow of the sacral center will result in feeling a joy in living, feeling exuberant and enjoyment of life, feeling passion and creativity, pleasure, acceptance of your body, connection to your sexuality and sensuality, vitality, energy, having good self-esteem, positive self-awareness, good health of the sexual organs, no impotence and less menstrual pain, having good orgasms, that's always a good thing, fertility, and having a good immune system. And then if you have blockages in the sacral center, that will look like jealousy, anxiety, low libido, addiction, guilt, aggression, diminished sensuality, which is connection to your senses, a lack of pleasure and joy, impotence, which is the inability to achieve an erection, frigidity, which means sexual indifference in women, lack of power or motivation, depression, creative blocks, addictions due to the unconscious urge to heighten all sensual experiences, leading to numbing of the senses, severe mood swings, poor immunity, menstrual pain, uterine ailments, inflammation of the ovaries, cysts, prostate problems, impotence, testicular ailments, fungal infections in the sexual organs, sexual ailments, kidney problems, weak bladder and urinary infections, lower back pain, pain in the hip joints, skin problems due to toxins in the body. So these are all of the physical things that can happen over time. And so for healing of the sacral center, these are some good things to do. Finding ways to experience joy through the senses. Learning to have a loving acceptance of one's body. Essential oils of bitter orange, pepper, myrrh, sandalwood or vanilla. Nettle or yarrow tea. Eating fresh parsley. Hyacinth, coral, or aventurine direct chakra therapy, which is just taking one of those stones and lying down and placing that stone right on the area of your body where the chakra center is. A gold topaz or fire opal for touchstones, which are just like you just hold the stone in your hand while you're like meditating. And then affirmations for the sacral center are: I enjoy life with all of my senses. I give my creativity and joy in living free reign. I lovingly accept my body and my sensuality. And then interacting with water in different ways by taking baths, going swimming, walking by the river, ocean, or lake. Drinking plenty of water, always a good idea. Exploring creativity, wearing the color orange. Dancing, specifically belly dancing, tango or salsa. Tantric yoga. And then Eastern music, or Bach or Vivaldi music. So moving up now to the solar plexus center. This center is the color yellow, and it is located between the belly button and the bottom of the rib cage. The central theme of the solar plexus is willpower, self-confidence, personality, self-development, self-control, feelings, sensitivity, power, and forcefulness. And this is the body's most important reservoir of energy and the central distribution point of that energy, or prana. Having a weak solar plexus will hinder the development of all of the other centers. So this is a really important one. The solar plexus center governs the stomach, the small intestines, the liver, the spleen, the gallbladder, the digestive system, the autonomic nervous system, the blood pressure. The autonomic nervous system controls the heart rate, blood pressure, respiration, digestion, and sexual arousal. Other areas of the body that the solar plexus governs is the pancreas, digestive enzymes, and insulin. So having good energy flow in the solar plexus center will result in self-assuredness, high energy, zest for life, self-awareness, achieving goals, pursuit of one's destiny, strong personality, sensitivity, sympathy, spontaneity, following gut instincts, good flow of emotions, enjoying merriment and laughter while also easily expressing sorrow and letting tears flow, a good appetite, good digestion, healthy liver, deep sleep, steady nerves, and dealing well with stress. If you have blockages in the solar plexus center, that may look like apathy, insecurity, lack of feeling, diminished sense of self, arrogance, obsession with power, controlling thoughtlessness, I'm sorry, those are two separate things. I said it like one, being controlling and then being thoughtless, having fits of rage, lack of life force energy, trouble seeing things through to conclusion, being easily swayed by authority, having doubt and mistrust in people, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-care, eating disorders, especially anorexia, insomnia, nightmares, specifically nightmares of being chased or killed or unable to move, going from deep sleep to anxious awakening, emotional problems related to the stomach ailments of ulcers, heartburn, diseases of the liver, spleen, or gallbladder, jaundice, stomach ache, digestive disorders, backache, nervous disorders, and obesity. And then for healing of the solar plexus, you would want to be using essential oils of lavender, chamomile, lemon, or anise, red wine infused with dried juniper berries. This is an infusion process. You can probably find a recipe for that by Googling chamomile or anise tea, tiger's eye or amber touchstones, citrine or chrysoberyl direct chakra therapy. Not sure if I said that name right of that crystal. Affirmations for this center would be, I let my feeling run freely and trust my spontaneous decisions. I use my inner strength to make the world a better place. Through the power of my will, I can reach my goal. Keeping warm is a good thing to do for this center. Breathing into the stomach, not the chest, and making sure exhalations are longer than inhalations. Sunbathing, wearing yellow clothes, lighting candles, being by fire, etc. Doing things that are exciting, listening to romantic music, learning to express the feelings, and taking an acting class could be helpful. So moving on up to the heart center, my favorite center, and also to be noted as the center of the chakra system. So we have the lower centers. There are 7 centers, so that's why the heart is right in the middle. So we've just gone through the lower centers. Now we're moving into the heart, which is located right in the center of the chest. In the center is the color green. And the central theme of the heart center is obviously love, also compassion, humanity, empathy, tolerance, openness, warm-heartedness, and unconditional love. So the heart governs the lungs, the circulation of energy, the skin, the blood, the hands, the arms, the upper back, the thymus, which is controlling immunity. And so good energy flow in this center will look like having compassion, empathy, service to others, transcending limitations, having love for all people, being tolerant of people, feeling a sense of unity consciousness, loving acceptance of oneself despite shortcomings or downfalls, having healthy lungs, good circulation, a steady pulse, and seldom bronchial or respiratory ailments. If you have blockages in the heart center, it could look like heartlessness, bitterness, loneliness, difficulty connecting with others, feeling isolated, literally isolating yourself, separateness, feeling easily overwhelmed, feeling a loss of one's own identity, having problems in loving relationships, issues with proper balance between giving and taking, trouble opening up to others and sharing thoughts and feelings, trouble giving love or receiving it, impersonal friendliness, which is like being fakely friendly or helpful and tolerant of others when you don't actually feel that way, being indiscriminately or inappropriately opening up to other people, like just not having a sense of boundaries. And the next one is lacking proper boundaries, making excessive demands of others to compensate for the lack of love that they feel. Coronary illness or angina pectoris, heart attack, high or low blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, inflammations, infections of the lungs, asthma or other respiratory problems, colds, allergies, backache in the rib cage area, shoulder pain, rheumatism in the arms or hands, and skin problems. Something that's not on this list that I feel like is related is breast cancer, possibly. So for healing of the heart center, we need to first recognize that emotional needs are not being met. And then to figure out how to really experience the power of love. Recognizing the little things that other people do without expecting anything in return. Essential oils of rose, jasmine, or tarragon, melissa or whitehorn tea, thyme honey wine, which is probably a recipe you could find on Google, emerald or rose quartz touchstones, and jade for direct chakra therapy. Affirmations for the heart center are: my heart is open to giving and receiving love. I lovingly accept myself as I am. I give and receive with an open heart and bind myself to all living beings. Finding self-love, doing things that you truly enjoy, enjoying the beauty of nature, giving love to others without expecting anything in return, developing compassion for yourself and all other living beings, wearing green clothing, listening to music that touches your heart, embracing and comforting others, getting a massage or learning to give massages. So moving right along to the throat center, which is located right in the middle of the neck. This center is blue, and the central theme of the throat center is communication, verbal abilities, inspiration, truthfulness, intelligence, synthesis, creativity, and musical talent. Throat center governs the neck, the jaw, the larynx, the esophagus, the windpipe, the breath, the voice, the shoulders, the thyroid, and the parathyroid. This is the center of sound, of speech, communication, conscious use of language, the desire to speak truth in all circumstances, self-expression, balancing the worlds of feeling and thought by connecting the heart to the head chakras. I see the throat center as like a bridge almost between the lower 4 centers and the 2 upper centers. So having good energy flow in the throat center looks like great verbal abilities, good communication of thoughts and feelings, having musical talent, free breathing, rich tenor of voice, healthy throat and tonsils, and good metabolism, or healthy thyroid. Having blockages in the throat center can look like speech disturbances, stuttering or stammering, difficulties expressing yourself, shyness, trouble expressing your opinion, difficulties communicating with others, inhibitions, timidity, trouble communicating with one's self internally, so like in your thoughts about yourself and things like that, difficulty understanding your own needs and feelings, feeling a pressure in the throat, problems with the jaw or teeth, nervousness, lassitude, throat pain, tonsillitis, dental and periodontal issues, problems with the vertebrae in the neck or shoulders having pain, stiffness in the neck or shoulders, and thyroid issues. And then overactivity of the throat center can look like having a thirst for fame, manipulation, or gossiping. And then for healing the throat center, we want to be doing things like music, singing, chanting, using essential oils of eucalyptus, camphor, or peppermint, sage, or coltsfoot tea, sage milk, which you can Google a recipe for, lapis lazuli touchstone, aquamarine or blue topaz direct chakra therapy. Affirmations for the throat chakra are, I speak from the heart and let the truth be my guide. I use the power of words to make the world a better place. Every day it becomes easier to express what I think and feel. Improving communication skills by working on finding the perfect words to convey your thoughts and feelings can be really helpful. Taking a voice training or communication class, learning another language, keeping a journal of your thoughts and feelings, and wearing the color blue. Moving up to the third eye center. This center is located between and just above the eyebrows in the forehead area. And there's some debate over the colors of these two upper chakra centers here. Some diagrams show this third eye center being like a darker blue color than the throat center, and then the crown being purple. But I always feel like the third eye center is actually the purple one, and then the crown is more of like a silvery or like golden whitish color. So there's some debate about that. Anyhow, the central theme of the third eye center is intuition, wisdom, realization, awareness, fantasy, imagination, and self-knowledge. And the third eye center governs the cerebellum, the sense organs of sight, hearing, and smell, the face, the sinuses, hormonal nervous systems, the pituitary gland, growth and development, endocrine glands function. Oh, that's what the pituitary gland does. And then this center is a portal to the spiritual world of intuition, higher realities, extrasensory perception, clairvoyance, telepathy, and the higher self. And so good energy flow in the third eye will look like having a strong intuition, connection to the higher self, visualization, good imagination, future visions, mental clarity, clear seeing with help of higher awareness, great intelligence, good concentration, and sharp vision and hearing. And then blockages in the center can look like weakened concentration, attention deficit disorders, learning disabilities, trouble thinking clearly, forgetfulness, feeling scatterbrained, spiritual confusion or superstition. Schizophrenia is a really extreme case of this. Feeling purposeless, having poor eyesight, or conjunctivitis, which is an inflammation of the membrane covering the eye, getting migraines, headaches, sinusitis, chronic colds, poor hearing, ear infections, brain diseases, eye problems, inflammation of the inner ear, neurological disorders, and mental illness. So some pretty extreme stuff related to this one. And then having an overactive third eye can look like being selfish, greedy, or lusting for power. And bringing healing to the third eye looks like improving powers of concentration by learning to read music or embarking on a serious course of study. Guess that could be lots of different things. Essential oils of cageput, I don't know what that is. Lemongrass or violet. Sapphire direct chakra therapy. Opal or blue tourmaline touchstone, an eye bright compress, spruce red wine elixir, which I'm sure you could Google that to find a recipe. Affirmations for the third eye. I am in touch with my inner light. I let my fantasy run free. I listen to my inner voice. I look inward and recognize what is essential. Reading spiritual books is really good for the third eye. Keeping a dream journal. Meditating under the stars. Love that. Reading fairy tales or mythology. Doing creative fantasy writing. And then wearing dark blue or purple clothing. And then going on up to the last center that we will cover is the crown center. There are other chakra centers, by the way, that are located, some of them are even outside of our physical body, which is really interesting to me. I've also heard that we have ear chakra centers and hand centers and feet centers. I have not studied those extensively, so we're just sticking to the 7 that I know about. So the crown center is located at the top of the head. And like I said about when I was explaining the third eye color, there's some debate about the color of the crown. It could be seen by some people as purple, like a light purple. Others, and myself included, believe it's more of like a silvery, golden, white kind of light color. And central themes of the crown center are spirituality, experience of the higher planes of existence, knowledge of God, enlightenment, self-realization, cosmic consciousness, and spirituality, I said that already, self-realization, consciousness of our divine nature, having a deep sense of peace or pure being. And then this crown center governs the cerebrum, the entire organism of the body, and the pineal gland. And then having good energy flow of this center basically looks like you have a sense of the sacred unity with the cosmos. blockages in the crown center can look like depression, deep confusion, feeling trapped in the material world, having a sense of emptiness, general discontent, unexplainable unhappiness even when everything is going fine, having deep depression and being overcome by a sense of the world's pain or existential angst, which is a very extreme case, emotional numbness, exhaustion, lack of goals, unexplainable emptiness inside, headaches, weak immunity, nervous conditions, paralysis, multiple sclerosis, cancer, mental confusion, forgetfulness, mental illness, and sleep disorders. So some very, very severe things here. And then for healing of the crown center, conscious stillness will allow the crown chakra to open to the energy of the universe. Using rosewood essential oil, quartz or amethyst touchstone, diamond for direct chakra therapy, affirmations, I am fully aware in my body, thoughts, and feelings. The essence of my being is light and peace. I open myself to the infinite power of God. And then opening yourself up to the power of silence, so meditation, mountain climbing, wearing white clothing, and things that will strengthen the aura. Something to Google there. So that is all of the information about the chakra centers. And I just also wanted to share a little bit more about my knowledge of the centers and how I work with them pretty regularly for myself. So I got introduced to vocal toning, and it was recommended to me because I was working on my singing voice and I really wanted to be more confident in my singing. And what I found out was that later down the line is that I actually had a huge throat chakra blockage that I was just being guided to clear for myself. So somebody recommended doing vocal toning, and I found a chakra vocal toning exercise on YouTube. And basically what you do is you make these different sounds that resonate in the different centers. So I will make the sounds now so that you can hear them. And I started leading a chanting group, and we would use this as a warm-up exercise at the beginning. So this is also interesting because when I found the video, and like I said, everybody usually works upward from the root center to the crown center when working with the chakras. And there's a couple of reasons that I actually like to go down. So for this exercise, I found that it's a lot more grounding for somebody to go from the crown down to the root, because it's like you're bringing the energy down. And so it's just more grounding, and especially because you're ending with the root sound, which is a grounding sound because it's lower and it vibrates in that lowest chakra center. So we're going to start at the crown and go down to the root because that's how I like to do it. So usually I would do these sounds 3 times each if I were leading this guided exercise or doing it for myself or in a client session with the Quantum Soul Alchemy, because I do use this in that session and I'll talk about that in a minute. So the crown center, the sound that resonates there sounds like this. E. And then the third eye is like this. The throat center is like this. And the heart center. The solar plexus center. The sacral center. And the root center. And so that is just really, really nice to do, even just one time each. It just feels so good. And so I actually made a video where I'm doing the guided exercise, so I'll link that below in the description. And yeah, and so I actually use this exercise when I'm driving in my car. I like to do it when I'm driving to go do a Quantum Soul Alchemy session. Just a nice way for me to connect to spirit, and sometimes I'll go up and down, and yeah, and this was very powerful for me in healing my singing voice. And I feel like my throat chakra is really clear now, and I can just feel this like resonance in my voice. It's like my voice is different. I can feel like it it feels different even just after doing that one round of those. And yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I use these sounds in the Quantum Soul Alchemy sessions because I realized when I was doing the sessions that I was asking people to observe the centers, the chakra centers in the body. So if you haven't listened to my episode about the Quantum Soul Alchemy sessions, you should go listen to that episode after this one, and then you'll understand more of what I'm talking about. But basically, I realized that some people were having trouble like locating the chakra centers in the body. So I started guiding them to make these sounds actually when they're in the trance state, and then it was like helping them to be able to pick up on the energy in that center of the body. And it also, I use it now to help people clear blockages, energy blockages in the centers. And yeah, it's just so powerful to like use your own voice as a healing tool. It's a really powerful thing. And then yeah, so I work with clearing my chakra centers every day when I am doing my meditation. And the main thing that I do that clears the centers is I use a selenite wand, and I hold it over each center, beginning up at the crown, and I hold it over the center, and I take 3 deep breaths. And as I'm inhaling, I imagine light, source light from all around coming into the center. And then on the exhale, I imagine the light expanding and growing as bright as it can. And I do that 3 times for each chakra center. And yeah, it's just been really a nice practice. And this was just like something that I was intuitively guided to do during my meditation. And then I started using that technique also in the Quantum Soul Alchemy sessions. So I'll just explain briefly too about what I do at those sessions. So basically what I'm doing is I'm helping the client get into a deeply relaxed state, and they actually enter a state of trance, which is just a different level of consciousness, different than the normal waking state. And it allows the person to be able to access different information than their normal waking mind can. So it's like connecting to the soul versus, it's like getting the ego mind out of the way, and the conscious thinking mind, kind of letting that subside and go to the background just temporarily, so that we can access this super conscious state, which is the all-knowing part of you. And so I guide the person to then, once they're in that state, to be able to internally look at and feel the chakra centers, and they can pick up on energy blockages. And then we do the healing, and we clear out those centers that are blocked. And everybody, I have not had anybody that didn't have any chakra blockages. There was one lady that had been doing a lot of healing work, and she was like pretty clear, but almost everybody has some really severe blockages. And yeah, so that's what I do, and it's just so powerful and so amazing to be able to help people to clear out these blockages, because like I said before, like when you have these stuck energies in the body over your lifetime, and after decades go by, it can cause physical ailments. And pretty much any ailment in the body is related to an energy blockage. I believe every ailment, anything that we're dealing with, is an energetic thing, because everything is energy. So it's just, that's just the truth of it. Everything is energy. So yeah, everything in our physical reality even is energy and has an energetic vibration. It's really fascinating stuff. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to share about the chakra centers. And I have also created a little questionnaire type of thing to help people determine whether or not they have good energy flow in the centers, or if there are blockages. So it's kind of like the information that I shared here, but in the form of questions. So I will also put a link to that. And yeah, if you're listening to this and you feel like you've got some, really clogged up chakra centers that you would like assistance in unblocking, you can definitely send me a message, and we can book a session for you to get some healing and clearing. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Speaking of Spirituality. If you'd like to connect with me personally or book a session for Quantum Soul Alchemy, you can find me on Instagram at Ascending with Amelia. Have a beautiful day.